when do the patch bundles get released? So the patch bundles get released in a quarterly fashion in January, April, July, and October, always on the Tuesday closest to the middle of the month. And those of you who are experienced patching experts, you may know already that some of the patches may be delayed. Typically, the Windows bundle patches are a very common example, which is not available on that date, but usually a few days or sometimes, in worst case, also a few weeks later. In the patching notes, there's always a table inside telling you when patches are delayed and when the supposed to be available date is then. But quarterly, we release the patch updates, which means the bundle patches, always on the Tuesday closest to the middle of the month. So typically you see dates like 18th of January or 20th of April. That's typical dates. But now the question is, do you need to apply them? Do you have to apply them? And as a first evaluation, you can evaluate the risk. You can check how impacting are the security issues fixed in this patch bundle. And for that purpose, we deliver with each of the quarterly patch bundles a risk matrix. And the risk matrix is something a lot of our software vendors do as well. What you should pay attention is, first of all, the component column here, because the component tells you if a component you may use is affected. Or the other way around, if there's a security issue with a component you're not using, like for instance here, the third one from top, sharding, you may not use sharding, or if you don't use Oracle text, the second one from the bottom of the slide, then you don't have to care about that issue. But the first one here, the RDBMS scheduler, is in your RDBMS. So even though if you're not using the scheduler, somebody else may be able to use the scheduler, unless you completely disabled the use of a scheduler. And then the next information you need to pay attention is the base score. So this is in the middle of the slide. And the base score 8.8 is pretty high because the high score is 10. So nothing can be higher than 10.0. So 8.8 means this is relatively risky. It seems to be a big problem. And then when you go with your eyes to the right, you see how complex the attack is, if there are any special privileges required. Like the second one here, the advanced networking option, no privileges are required for that. But the attacking complex is relatively high. That means it's not trivial. You need a little bit of extra knowledge. You need to do this, that. Maybe certain things need to be settled before. All this should help you to get a better idea. But even if you call me and ask, hey, Mike, what is that issue about, that CVE 2021-2018? I can't tell you more than that, because it's a security issue, and these issues are only visible to a very limited number inside of Oracle, very limited number of people inside of Oracle. So neither Roy or Daniel or I typically can see the security bug fixes, and we don't know more than you about that. Then, next thing, which is really important, on the right side of the slide, the supported versions affected. Because now you can get an idea if your version will be affected. When it says like here, the first one, 12.102, 12.201, 18 and 19, I can almost certainly guarantee you that this issue applies to 11.204 and to 11.203 and to 10.205 most likely as well. As long as the scheduler is available in the database, that issue happens. But here, we will mention only the versions which are under bug fixing support right now, and if those are still affected here. If it says like the second issue, only 18C and 19C, that means, okay, I'm on 12.201. I hope you don't, but if you are still on 12.201, you're not affected by that one here. And also see there's sometimes a note for the second issue. There's a note, something below the table. I didn't put that here on that slide. So use the risk matrix to evaluate how critical things are for you. And if something is in like this one here from the July 2019, so quite a while ago, core RDBMS, and I guess this had something to do with the password authentication. This was a 9.8. 9.8, that means, okay, you need that. Now keep in mind, the patch bundles are cumulative. So for sure, you don't have to go back and say, oh my God, I need to find July 2019 because there was this 9.8. Of course, you take the January 2021, and then everything from the previous ones is included as well. So no worries here.